one, the only...
Hasn't Dragnet caught him yet? Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, the duck, yeah, up there, we'll come down and pay him $100. The word tonight is Mamie. No, name. My eyes now. Okay, Duck, clear out of here. Mr. Fenneman, get on the ball.
Well, Groucho, maybe you remember last week we had a couple on the show.
I don't even remember last night.
I think you will when I...
And it's just as well, I think.
Well, this couple that we had on the show gave an answer that wasn't exactly wrong, and it wasn't exactly right. So maybe you'll also remember that we invited...
You're a master of equivocation.
We invited these people back to come back to our show. And
we have 4 couples tonight instead of 3?
Well, they're sort of special because we invited them back to have a sort of an extra chance at an extra $1,000 question.
I see.
And maybe the people at home will remember that the people we've invited back, the Reverend and Mrs. Doss, the people that they adopted 12 children of different nationalities. I'd like you to meet them again. Ladies and gentlemen, and Groucho, the Reverend and Mrs. Doss.
Well, it's nice to see you back again, Rev. Are you all ready for a try at the $1,000?
Well, I'm no smarter than I was last week.
No, but I happen to be dumber. All right, here we go now. Here it is. In 1915, D.W. Griffith produced the first of the gigantic screen epics. For $1,000, what was the name of this picture? Dealing with the Civil War period in the South. Megan's in a hurry to get home. Did you hear the whole question? The last part of it was, what was the name of this picture dealing with the Civil War period in the South? If you haven't an answer, we'll bring you back next week. Well, I'm sorry. It's not a particularly tough question. It was the birth of a nation. Well, I'm sorry you missed it. If anybody could use $1,000, I'm sure it's you, too. However, you did win some money in the quiz last week. How much was it, Mr. Fenneman?
I think it was $290. Right?
Could you folks use a home freezer?
We sure could.
I just happen to have one on me here. Well, we're going to see that you get a beautiful Amana home freezer completely stocked with food for the whole family. How's that?
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to both of you.
Now we have a woman with an interesting occupation, Groucho. She's Miss Gladys Simon. Her partner is a schoolboy, Mr. Edward Marquiz. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Miss Gladys Simon, and Mr. Edward Marquiz?
Marquez.
Marquez, huh? Mr. Marquiz, I'd like to ask you a question. How is it you're so short? Are you an elf?
No, I'm only 10 years old.
Oh, you're 10 years old.
How about this? You want to step back and I'll put this down?
Eddie, a sharp, good-looking, well-educated fellow like you must be quite a catch with the girls. Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
You're a misogynist?
Yes.
What is a misogynist? I'd like to know, too, Eddie.
Hates women.
Do you know what a misogynist is?
That he hates women?
That's true. And are you one of those? Do you dislike girls?
Yes.
I can certainly understand why you don't like girls. You're only 10 years old. You just wait until you're 11. Gladys Simon, that's you, huh? How old are you, Gladys?
30.
30, huh? Well, are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not, huh? Would you like to get married?
Yes, I would.
You're not a conscientious objector, huh? Do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
You work?
I work for a market research firm.
Well, no wonder you don't get married. You work for who?
A market research firm.
Market research firm?
Yeah. Gould, Gleiss, and Ben. Can I mention their name?
Gould, Gleiss, and Ben? Wait a minute. You said Mamie, and that's the secret word, so you get $50, and your partner here gets $50. Now, maybe you'll get married, Eddie, eh? The secret word was name. Now, what is the name of this firm that you're connected with, Gladys?
Gould, Gleiss, and Ben.
What kind of an outfit is this, Gould, Gleiss, and Ben?
We're marketing consultants, and we do surveys. We do sales analysis and product research.
Well, what is the purpose of the surveys?
Well, most of the products are purchased by women throughout the country, and so we talk to women in their homes.
Well, let's pretend that I'm a housewife and you're conducting a survey, and the phone is ringing, and my washer is flooding over, the kids are screaming, my husband's boss is coming home to dinner, and I answer the door, pleasant and relaxed. Okay?
Well, that's a typical case.
Okay, now you knock on the door. Good day.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marx, or Mrs. Marx. We're conducting a survey on canned cooked onions. Do you ever serve onions to your family?
Ah, shut up! And I slammed the door.
My foot's in it.
Your foot stays inside and you go to the next house. Now, what else do you want to know? Isn't that silly asking me if I like canned onions? Do you like canned onions, Eddie?
No.
No. Then you are a misogynist. Well, I'd like to go on talking to you two, but now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. See if you can win some money here. We start you off with $100, and you try to build it up by answering 4 questions. If you miss a question, you lose half of your bankroll, no matter what it amounts to at the time. Is that clear?
Yes.
Well, I wish the weather was out here. Now, you selected a cooking quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what are you going to start with?
$90? That's fair money.
$90?
Fair money.
Okay. Green beans, carrots, beets, and other vegetables sometimes are cut into thin, match-like strips for use in salads. Now, what do you call vegetables when they're cut like that?
No, Julian. Is that all right? Julian?
Julienne is the Queen of Holland, but that's right.
And you now have $190.
Now you have $190. Now, what are you going to go for?
150?
No, 100 is as high as you can go. And the big ones are the hard ones. You know, the little ones are the easy ones.
100? Okay.
What do you call the pickled greenish European flower buds that are used in salads and seasonings? Talk it over.
Could you repeat that?
I doubt it, but I'll try. Huh? What do you call the pickled greenish European flower buds that are used in salads and seasonings? Pickled greenish European flower buds.
That's poppies.
It's capers.
You lost half your $190. You still have $95.
All right, now what are you going to go for?
Let's get chicken and say 70.
70? What is the name of the stimulant found in coffee?
Caffeine.
Caffeine is right.
You now have $165.
And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for? How much?
90.
No, 90 you've had. You can go for 80 or
80.
60, 80? All right, what popular dessert was named for a famous Australian opera star?
Melba? No.
Peach Melba.
Melba. Okay.
That's right.
And you wind up with $245.
Well, put it down.
Selected a dancing teacher, Mrs. Jody Evetts, and her partner is Mr. Felix Branchi. Folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Felix Branchi and Mrs. Jody Evetts, huh? Well, Jody, I'll start with you. Isn't there somebody's name in Oklahoma named Jody?
Well, there was a deer once named...
Yes, there was, and you'll always be a deer. Wait a minute. That'll teach me to keep my mouth shut. You said the secret word name, so you get $50, Mr. Branchi, and you get $50.
Oh, thank you.
And don't say name again. It won't do you any good. Jody, may I ask approximately how old you are?
Well, if you'd asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have still been in my 20s. I don't think I'll answer this week.
Well, it wasn't practical to ask you 2 weeks ago. But you don't look like you're 30, huh?
Uh-huh.
You're a tribute to clean living, lots of sleep, and an excellent cold cream. Now, what is it you do again, Jody?
I'm a dance instructor.
A dancing? Oh, you do dancing, eh?
Yeah.
right. Well, as long as we're sitting this one out, perhaps I could teach you something, huh?
Well, we might see. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking exactly what you think I'm thinking. Where do you do your teaching, Jody?
Oh, I teach for Meglen's.
You teach
The Meglens.
You teach Meglens. What are Meglens?
The Meglen kitties, the famous Meglen kitties.
Oh, Meglen kitties. Isn't that the one that teaches precocious children to become dancers and actors?
Oh, we have lots of wonderful children in our school.
It's on Obnoxious Boulevard, isn't it?
On Western, we have several branches.
Yes. Felix Branchi is your...
Branchi.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. Now, where are you from, Mr. Branchi?
I'm from Milan, North Italy, close to the Alps.
Oh, well, arrivederci.
Arrivederci, piacere.
That's what you say to say goodbye, huh?
No, arrivederci when you say goodbye, yes.
Yeah, you say goodbye. Well, don't take that as a hint. Is your wife of Italian extraction?
No, she's a Slav.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure with a little patience you can teach her to be neater, Felix. What sort of work do you do, Felix?
I'm assistant head waiter at the Biltmore Ball in the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles.
Oh, I see. Assistant head waiter.
Yes.
How did you get to be a head waiter? Did you start out as an ordinary burglar, Felix?
I started in New York as a waiter many years ago.
Oh, well, it's a very honorable profession. I'm just being facetious. But what distinguishes a waiter from a head waiter, Felix?
Well, it depends on a lot of circumstances, and of course, personality has a lot to do.
That's right. To be a head waiter, you have to have something the matter with your personality. I take my hat off to you, Felix, except it would cost me 2 bits to get it back. Well, you're a charming couple, and Jody, I must say, you haven't heard the last of me. Now, let's see how much you can win. You're going to play You Bet Your Life.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple won $245, and the secret word is name.
Now, you select the geography. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 50, 80, 100? 70, do I hear?
70.
Do I hear 70?
70.
70 once? Okay. What is another name for the city of Istanbul?
Constantinople.
Constantinople is correct. From now on, I want one answer between you, because she might have said something else, and then you'd have been in trouble.
I might easily have said something else.
Yeah.
You now have $170.
All right, now what are you going to go for?
80.
80. All right with you, Jody?
Fine.
In what range of mountains do you find the Basques? B-A-S-Q-U-E-S.
In Pyrenees Mountain.
That's right.
You now have $250.
Felix, are you sure you don't own the hotel down there?
He's a smart boy.
Okay, what are you going to go for?
90.
Anything you say.
90.
Mandalay is a river port in the upper part of what country?
China.
No, it's... Do you shave?
Burma.
Burma, yes.
Well, you lost half your $250. You now have $125.
Well, I don't get discouraged.
100.
$100. Haifa, H-A-I-F-A, is the chief port of what country?
It's close to Israel, I know that.
Israel is right.
Israel.
And you wind up with $225.
We take no chances here. If they get even close to a question, we throw it. Felix?
Thank you.
You're a fine lad. And Jody, I'll see you later.
Groucho, we have a couple of special guests.
Mr. Marx, if you don't mind. Do I call you Groucho?
No.
Well, don't call me Groucho.
All right. Mr. Marx, we have...
What do you call Jack Webb? You call him Jack or Mr. Webb?
Call him Jack.
Oh, well, then call me Jack, too.
Jack?
And I'll call you Mr. Webb.
I'd like it. Jack, we have a couple of special guests now.
You have?
Yeah, they've
Keep them out there. I'm pretty sick of the whole thing.
What I'm getting at is they have something in common, and I think you're going to find this out.
Well, who hasn't?
Would you come in, please, for goodness sakes? Groucho, I'd like you to meet Mrs. Kate Van Duren.
Howdy, Katie.
Is Mr. Walter Knott.
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. How do you feel, Kate?
Just fine, Groucho.
Good. Mrs. Kate Van Doren, eh? How old are you, Mrs. Van Doren?
74.
74. Well, you're a fine-looking girl. Let's see, you're Walter Knott?
Yes, I'm not.
Oh. You're not, did you say?
Not, yes.
Well, we're making pretty good time. We're making 3 knots an hour here. I guess you're pretty sick of that joke, huh?
Yes, I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll hear it again if you hang around here. Listen, you'll be glad you're not on with Abbott and Costello. They'd have kept that knot up for about 15 minutes. You're fine-looking. Are you married, Uncle Walter?
Yes, I'm married.
Are you happily married?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been married?
I've been married 43 years.
You're the kind of a knot that doesn't come untied easily, aren't you?
I guess that's right.
You probably heard that before, too, huh?
No, I don't believe I have. I think that one's new.
Well, it's just a question of time. If you hang around here long enough, you're bound to hear something new. Sometimes it takes weeks. Now, how did you meet your wife? Did your boat run aground in the tunnel of love or something ordinary like that?
No, gosh, it's been 43 years. That's so long I've forgotten just the first time.
Well, Walter, I'm happy to hear that. I'm sick of people telling me how they met their wife. Let us turn the clock back a little. I sound like Art Bacon now, and talk about your life as a girl. For example, Katie, 50 or 60 years ago, what did you do for excitement? Taffy pulls and box socials?
Oh, no, we went to the shows and went to dances.
Dances? I mean, did you have an occupation?
Well, I was in show business.
You were in show business?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Long time ago.
Yes, what kind of show business?
Well, vaudeville.
Well, what did you do in vaudeville?
I was a dancer.
A dancer?
Mm-hmm. In the Yukon.
In the Yukon?
Mm-hmm.
You were in the Yukon?
Yes, I was there in the Gold Rush days.
Now, wait a minute, this whole thing is beginning to come into focus. Your name's Katie, you were a dancer?
I was.
And you were in the Klondike?
Yes,
Are you the original Klondike Kate?
I believe I am.
Oh, what do you know, Klondike Kate, huh? Didn't you shoot somebody, Dan McGrew or Sam McGee or something?
Oh, no, Bob Service, when he was asked about that poem, he said it was pure fiction.
There wasn't anything to it?
No, it was just the product of a vivid imagination.
Oh, could you give us the first stanza, Kate?
No, if I could, I would.
Could you, Mr. Knott?
No, I don't know it. I know of the poem all right, and I know the story of it, but I don't know it by...
Mr. Knott, let's get back to you. What is your racket? No, what sort of work do you do?
I'm a farmer.
You're a farmer.
Yes, I operate Knott's Berry Farm.
Well, you're the Knott of Knott's Berry Farm? Well, that's a very famous place in Southern California. Could you tell us something about it? Take all the time you want. We'll give you 10 seconds.
Well, we run besides the Berry Farm, a chicken dinner restaurant and a steakhouse, and we have a ghost town as a hobby there, too.
Well, if they get much more smog here, we'll have a ghost town here. Well, Katie, have you ever visited Knott's Berry Farm?
No, I haven't.
Well, you should.
Sorry to say, I intend to someday.
Well, they've got a lot of very interesting relics of the Old West out there, I understand. Like Roy Rogers. nothing personal in this. Well, I wish we had more time to talk to you. However, the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. Do you both know how to play this game?
I think I've heard it several times.
In the race for the $1,000, the first couple is still leading with $245.
It's the general information quiz. Now, what do you want to start with? The easy questions, of course, are the low ones in price.
Let's begin with $50. What do you say?
$50. All right. In what field was Martin Luther famous?
We've decided he was a preacher.
No.
Well, that's true. It's religion, but I think we'd give it to you on that.
Now I have $150.
Now what do you want, Frog?
We'll try another 50. That seems to be our
No, that's
lucky.
not possible. We can't give you
all
Martin
right.
Luther again.
No, all right. Let's make it 60 this time.
There's only one Martin Luther to a customer on this
All
program.
right.
A 60?
60 we've decided on.
All right. Who was the Nazi leader who parachuted into Scotland where he was detained as a prisoner of war? Talk it over.
Did you get the Vaughn's? Bound to be right. Vaughn's up there.
Come on, kids.
No, I haven't got his name.
Well, I have. His name is Rudolf Hess.
That's right.
No.
That's right. Rudolf Hess, so I win $60.
If you lose half your $150, you now have $75.
Now, what question do you want? You have had so far, you've had the 60 and the 50. Now, you can have a 40 or a
Well,
70.
we'll try 40 this time.
40, you're not obliged. You can have an 80, 90, 100. 40? For $40, what holiday falls on May 30th?
Decoration Day.
That is absolutely correct.
You now have $115.
Now, what are you going to go for? It's your last chance to beat the other couple.
Well, let's take 90 this time. What do you say?
All right.
$90. What was the name of King Arthur's queen? Take a guess.
Can't think.
No, I don't know that one.
Well, it's Guinevere.
Oh, I'm thinking.
And you wind up with a total of $57.50.
Sorry you didn't win, boss. Huh? Sit up here.
The other knee?
Later, you can have the other knee. The strategic river that separates Manchuria, this is going to be a cinch for him, man. The strategic river that separates Manchuria from Korea has been on the news for the past several years. For $1,000, what is the name of this river? Talk it over. You get no information out of me.
I don't know.
I've never done this to a contestant. It's kind of nice. What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Bien, bien, poo.
No, it's the YALO. Y-A-L-U. Well, I'm sorry. That means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, they lost the big money. How much they win the quiz, George?
$245.
And the secret word?
Right?
That's the total of how much, George?
$345.
You want to keep your job, don't you?